Welcome back to the channel, Hobby1 Kenobi here. In this video, I will be continuing to build the F-101B in 1/48 scale by Kitty Hawk. First off, I would like to mention that you can now become a member of this channel simply by clicking the join button and signing up for either the first tier Kenobi Crew or the second tier Kenobi Grand Masters. There are perks associated with joining, and I look forward to your membership. I'm also excited to share that I am now an Amazon associate. That means if you use the Amazon links in my video descriptions to purchase kits, tools, or equipment featured on the channel, I will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. It's a simple way to support the channel while picking up the items that you need. Alright, let's get started. The model is now complete and is ready for a first coat of white. I used Tamiya XF2 for this color. When using Tamiya paint in an airbrush, I typically use 50% paint and 50% thinner. For thinner, I prefer to use Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. This product is normally just called MLT in the modeling community. MLT is great for many model paint products, including those I've listed here, though I haven't used it for all of these products, so as always, it's best to test it yourself. The bottom of the model is painted first. I like to use this area as a bit of a test bed to ensure everything is working properly. Once that coat is drying, it's time to tackle the two ejection seats. The ejection seats supplied in the kit look decent, but I have yet to encounter a kit seat that couldn't be modified in some way. I decided to drill out the holes found at the rear of the seats. These holes are cleaned out with a knife, and the back of each panel is thinned out by scraping away excess material. This gives the rear of the seats a proper thin metal look. The seat halves were glued together using Tamiya Extra Thin. The ejection handles were removed and will be replaced with thin plastic strips. Next, I removed the jettison tubing apparatus at the rear of both seats. My preferences show that the tube is flanked by frames. To replicate these, I used polystyrene channels from Evergreen. These were cut oversized, then glued into position. Finally, I scratch built the rest of the area behind the seats. One seat should have a slightly taller unit than the other. Next, I used Tamiya tape and PE buckles for the seat straps, and formed a rectangular cushion out of tape that showed up in references. Now the seats were ready to be painted. Compared to other ejection seats, those found in the F-101 have only a few colors, namely the main gray, green for lower cushions, beige for the straps, and red for the head and armrests. At this point, I sprayed the seats gloss, then after that dried, I began adding the oil wash. As with all of my models, I like to make my own washes. I use Winsor and Newton black and white to create a dark gray, and thin the paint down with turpenoid. The links to these products can be found in the description. Once dried, the excess wash was removed with Q-tips. Lastly, plastic was used to create the ejection handles and painted yellow. I also decided to wind up some thin beading wire to create the hoses for the high-altitude helmets. Each seat had 3, and they were painted black, then dry brushed successive lighter green colors to bring out the ribbing effect. Next, after the final coat of white had cured, I masked off several areas of the model for the several black accents found along the plane. I used a combination of blue painter's tape, Tamiya tape for curves, and the standard yellow Tamiya tape. Tamiya XF1 was used for the black color. Finally, I masked off the area around the main gear wells and painted them the characteristic green chromate found on aircraft from this era. And here is the model so far. I can't wait to show you the final video where I finally reveal the finished build. Well, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.